The National Audit Office, which is independent of government but answerable to Parliament, has a right to ask for and access data from HMRC in discharging its compliance responsibilities. In March of this year, it appears that a junior official within HMRC provided the National Audit Office with a full copy of HMRC's data in relation to the payment of child benefit. In doing so, it is clear that the strict rules governing HMRC's standing procedures were not followed. These procedures relate to the security and access to data, as well as to its transit, to ensure that data is properly protected. This information should not have been handed over by HMRC in the way that it was. However, I understand that in this case, the NAO subsequently returned all of the information it received in March to HMRC after auditing it. Mr. Speaker, it now appears that following a further request from the NAO in October for information from the Child Benefit Database, and again at a junior level, and again contrary to all HMRC standing procedures, 2 password-protected disks containing a full copy of HMRC's entire data in relation to the payment of child benefit was sent to the National Audit Office by HMRC's internal post system operated by the courier TNT. The package was not recorded or registered. Mr. Speaker, it appears that the data has failed to reach the addressee in the NAO. Mr. Speaker, I also have to tell the House that on finding that the package had not arrived at the NAO, a further copy of this data was sent, this time by registered post, which did arrive at the NAO. However, again, HMRC should never have let this happen. Although it is believed that the data was sent from the HMRC to the National Audit Office on 18th October, the fact that it did not arrive was not reported to HMRC's senior management until 8th November, nearly 3 weeks later. I was informed on Saturday 10th November and immediately instructed that a comprehensive search by customs officers be carried out of all premises where the missing data might be found, and these searches are continuing. I also asked for an immediate investigation, which was initiated that weekend, and I also insisted on immediate steps to prevent this from happening again, and action has been taken. On Monday 12th November, HMRC informed me that evidence might have been found of the route taken by this data and that the data was likely to be found. However, by Wednesday the 14th November, it was clear to me that the HMRC searches had failed to find them, and I therefore instructed the chairman of the HMRC to call in the Metropolitan Police to conduct a full investigation in order to find the missing package. Mr. Speaker, that investigation is still underway. Our priority was and is to find this data. Searches have been and continue to be carried out, including of HMRC and National Audit Office premises. Staff are being interviewed, but so far the missing data has not been found. Mr. Speaker, the police tell me that they have no reason to believe that this data has found its way into the wrong hands. The police are not aware of any evidence that it has been used for fraudulent purposes or criminal activity. I will tell the House what is missing as a result of this extremely serious failure on the part of the HMRC to protect sensitive personal data entrusted to it in breach of its own guidelines. Mr. Speaker, in terms of protecting confidential data, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs is operationally independent of ministers. It is established by statute. It is run by its chairman, Paul Gray, and a board of commissioners who are responsible for its operations, but answerable to Parliament through me. Last week, Paul Gray told me on his own initiative that given the seriousness of the operational failing that he should resign. He has now confirmed that intention, and I am grateful to Paul Gray for his contribution to the work of government in HM Treasury, DWP and then HMRC. Mr. Speaker, the missing information contains details of all child benefit recipients, records for 25 million individuals and 7.25 million families. These records include the recipient and their children's names, addresses and dates of birth. It includes child benefit numbers, national insurance numbers, and, where relevant, bank or building society account details. Mr. Speaker, I regard this as an extremely serious failure by HMRC in the responsibility to the public. Mr. Speaker, in making this statement today, I have had to balance the imperative of informing the House and the public at the earliest opportunity, whilst at the same time ensuring that when I did so, the appropriate safeguards were in place to protect the public, including in relation to bank accounts. Indeed, the banks were adamant that they wanted as much time as possible to prepare for this announcement. I discussed this with the Information Commissioner on Thursday, who agreed that appropriate remedial action needed to be taken before a public statement was made. This action has now been taken. I've also sought the advice of the Financial Services Authority, as well as the Serious Organised Crime Agency, and other government departments have been made aware. Mr. Speaker, let me set out what we have done. First, the UK